Good evening. Hi, I'm Sandra Parker. I'm co-founder and owner of my latest expedition into the internet, a website called Mum Suite. I started it last June with a group of wonderful women who don't live in Canada, and you're going to hear from one of them later this evening. And it's been a pretty big success so far. We've learned a lot. And one of the things we're hoping to do in 2021 is to share some ideas, tips, content that you might find useful and handy being a mom. Some of it will be coming up in the future from experts in the baby and parenting field, but we also want to share ideas like crafts, home design, personal growth tips, etc. So tonight we're going to be talking about vision boards. And currently we have 7 women across Canada who are on this journey with us. It's a 2-week journey. And if you'd like to join at any time, please reach out to me. You can reach me through the website or Sandra at zrminc.ca, and we'd be more than happy to send you the content. The outline for the evening is this is going to be about a 40-minute session, so it won't take long. Please enjoy it and replay it at your leisure. And I wanted to start with talking a little bit about goal setting. I don't know if you've ever done any goal setting, but goal setting has been an integral part of my life. I've been doing it for the last 40 years. Yeah, I know, I'm not 16, most of my adult life. And I have found it to be not only valuable, but also quite magical. How many of you have already set some goals maybe for 2021? Do you have an idea of what you want to do this year or what you want to create? Maybe you have a home improvement project on your list. The advantage of goal setting is it kind of allows you to organize your thinking a little bit, organize your projects, but also dream a little bit, which is the exciting and really magical part of it. One of the challenges of the last year has been, of course, the pandemic, COVID-19, and sort of the disarray and uncertainty it's created in our lives. It's one of the reasons why I started this program in the middle of January. We've already had an awful lot of tweaks and twists and turns. I don't know where you all live, but in Ontario, we're back into a lockdown. But one of the things I'm hoping we can create through our vision board program is that you will take a look at it and see really what's showing up for you during this time. A lot of the conversation and a lot of the media has been dwelling on, oh, what we can't do and what we really wanted to do and what we can't share and that we can't be together. And celebrations that we had planned had to be postponed or canceled or changed. 2020, for a lot of people, felt really awful. So one of the things that I asked my group of vision boarders to do last week is to make a list. Make a list of 15 things that were blessings or positive things that happened for you in 2020. I think you'll be surprised. I sat down and did it myself, and I was actually shocked. I got to 15, and there were still some things I wanted to write down on my list. One of the great things about being in this time is you have the opportunity to change your thinking about this and manage it differently. What gifts are here for you during this brief change in your life? And trust me, a year from now, when we are all vaccinated and back out in the world and it is returned to normal, I'm hoping you can look back on this time and say, boy, am I ever glad I got to do that. I got to read some books that have been sitting on a shelf for years that I've never gotten to, or I took up a new hobby, or I got to spend some extra time with my children, or I just got to be a little lazier. I wasn't running around at 150 miles an hour. I had a little more time for me. I know it feels like a bit of a roller coaster, and I know right now one of the most challenging parts to manage is the uncertainty of it all. But I really, really want you to take the time right now and enjoy the time you have. Because trust me, when it's over, it's going to feel like it went by in a blink. I want you to think about what was happening in the world a year ago, right now. Australia was on fire. Millions and millions of animals were running for their lives. I have a niece who lives there and she works for the SCPCA. They were saving animals all over Australia, and she was also hosing her backyard every day as she could see the smoke and at one point the flames getting very close. Does that seem like it happened a moment ago, or does it seem like 10 years ago? A year ago today, Kobe Bryant was killed in a helicopter crash. Now, I know that's a sad bit of news, but if you think about that, to me, in a lot of ways, that feels like it was an instant ago. And trust me, when we get to this time next year, as I said, I really hope that you are able to say, I am so glad that I had some of that time. And I'm so glad I did some of the things that I did with it, and I got to experience some new things. So rather than dwelling on what we can't do right now, let's think about what we want to do, what we can do, what we can do differently, how we can manage it to our benefit. What's the stuff I want to get done? What's the stuff I want to enjoy right now? And a great way to do that is to create a vision board. So let's talk about it for a minute. What is a vision board? So I've got one behind me. I don't know how well you can see it. This is my big vision board. It sits in my office and I get to look at it all the time. Most of the time it makes me really happy. Sometimes it reminds me when I'm slacking off and I'm being lazy. But what it is a vision board is a pictorial representation. So in a lot of cases, it's not real stuff. It's pictures from magazines or pictures you've downloaded, but it's a representation of some of the things you want to create or have happen in your life. It's not about being attached to a particular thing. I know, okay, I may never fit into this bikini that I have here on my vision board, but that picture reminds me that I want to have a healthier, thinner, slimmer, happier body. Okay, I'm not going to be a Green Bay Packer, but I'm a big Green Bay Packer fan. And this picture reminds me that one of my goals with my husband is to go down to Wisconsin to Lambeau Field and watch the Green Bay Packers play live. I can also tell you about vision boards. What they do is they do remind you of things, but one of the things is they are eerily magical. So back in the 80s and the 90s, when I had 2 offices and 15 staff, and I worked down in the city of Toronto, I carried around this big leather book called a Daytimer. At the time, these were all the rage. We kept our phone numbers. It was before we had smartphones. Everything was in this book. And as part of the book, I had a small vision board, and I'm just going to hold it up for you to see. This was done in 1997. So if you take a look, you'll see it says cottage, please, at the top. And then there's a picture. I'll try and line it up for you so you can see it, of a cottage. And I carried this around with me. I might have actually even done it in 96, for about 4 or 5 years. And all of a sudden, I was up at my friend's cottage, and the place across the street went on the market. And here's the place I bought. And here's the place on my vision board. Look eerily familiar? I have to tell you, when I saw it, I just about fainted. I hadn't looked at it in almost 10 years. And the first time I saw it was when I moved in. And I thought, I can't believe it. I had totally forgotten that I had cut out that picture. I had totally forgotten that it was even in that book. That book had been packed away for years. I had totally forgotten about that picture. And in looking back in that book, I saw pictures of cars that I've owned since then, places I visited, cruise ships that I've been on. So vision boards can be very, very powerful reminders. We have about 60,000 thoughts a day. And some of those thoughts we actually put into words. Sometimes we express them to ourselves, and sometimes we express them to others. But one of the things that you can do with some of your thoughts is to actually create pictures of them, to remind you of what you're looking for and what some of your dreams are. Now, one of the things that I want to warn you, please don't limit yourself. Vision boards are not time sensitive. Now, I do have vision boards that I've created for 1 year, or I've created for my home, but they don't have to be. This vision board's been with me for 5 years, and it still has things on it that I'm looking to do or looking to enjoy or looking to create in the world. Don't limit yourself. It doesn't have to be, oh, well, I'll never be able to do that, or oh, I'll never have the money to do that. This is not what that's about. This is about dreaming your dreams and thinking about the things that you would love to enjoy. Now, as I said, you're not particularly attached to necessarily having that exact house or that exact holiday. These are reminders or representations of things you'd like to share. Now, there are lots of different types of vision boards. So as you can see, I have a great big one that's in my office. I have some smaller ones that I've made. This one I did 2 years ago. This one, a lot is about where I was at the time. You'll see here, this is Jane Fonda. She's a huge hero of mine. I would love to look like that and have that body. But you'll see Pandora, you'll see a car. And 2 years later, it's not the same color, but that's the car I bought. You'll also notice that there's a whole bunch of words on my vision board too, and we're going to talk about that a little later. So they can be whatever size you want them to be, big or small. I have some that I have in my calendar. So this is my day planner now. I have a calendar book. I tend to be an ink on paper kind of girl. I like to cut the pictures out. I like to tape them onto the paper. I like to be able to go back and visit them. Even in my calendar, throughout my book, I have photos and sayings to remind me of my dreams, my goals, and who I am in the world. Last week, I asked each of you to choose a word for your year. Now, Lisa, I know you're here. If you can take a minute, can you type into the chat if you've chosen your word for this year? Ah, what a great word, discovery. Fabulous. So I'd sent you out some examples of different words. That's a great word. Wow, me too. Michelle, did you choose a word for this year? We'll see if she's going to type it into the chat. Also, oh my goodness, you're kidding. You both chose discovery. That's fantastic. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that is amazing, you two. Seeing as, for those of you that are joining us via video, Lisa Mashinder lives in Barrie, Ontario, and Michelle lives in Cape Town, South Africa. So it's not exactly like they've been talking over the fence in their backyards to share their words. That's fantastic. Well, I would highly urge both of you to add your word to your vision board. Look for it. Now, my word this year is flourish. Okay? Flourish is a really old-fashioned word. It means thriving and growing and expanding. And do you think I could find that word anywhere? No, not anywhere. I couldn't find it anywhere. It doesn't exist. It's from Old England. But what I thought flourish stood for was flowers. So I have pictures of flowers everywhere. They're on the front of my calendar. They're all through my calendar. I have a Teleflora calendar in my office. I have them everywhere to remind me that my word this year is flourish. Okay, so that I remember that that's my context for the year, to grow, expand, thrive. So I would highly recommend that you look at adding your word to your vision board. So I would highly recommend that you add key and inspiring words to your vision board. I have lots of them. I've been in sales my whole life. I like to talk. It's how I've made my living. But you'll notice the total package, Snow Queen, create a better you, cherish the moments, inspired, take control, Sandra, the most beautiful. So look for words that inspire you. Now, vision boards don't have to be paper. Vision boards can also be digital. Lots and lots and lots of people I know have them on their phones. I have the landscapes on my computer screens are all part of my vision board. If you want to create an online vision board, the best place to go is Pinterest. Tonight, you will be receiving a summary of the session with a link to Pinterest where you can go. I just finished a 21-day course, and two of the women in the course each created a vision board with over 7,000 images. So it also allows you to have a pretty unlimited amount of space. Now, I would not necessarily say bigger is better, but if you're more comfortable with an online or a digital board, certainly that's a great way to go as well. So you're looking for pictures from magazines, from online that you can download, inspiring words that you can add, and then of course, you want to personalize it. So I highly recommend you add photographs of yourself, with your partner, with your family, with your children, maybe events you've had in the past. My family has a family reunion every year, so I have pictures of my family on my family board. Or maybe you have plans for an upcoming get together and you want to start to create pictures or feelings of how that's going to be when you finally get together. The other thing that you're going to do, and this week, when you receive your morning emails from me, we're going to look at a different part of your life, a different area in your life. Again, you may not want to put all of them on your vision board. There might be one or two that are a higher priority for you this year. But I'm going to send you little thought starters to take a look at different areas. Now, yesterday, I asked you to think about you. Okay, what did you personally want for you? But other areas you're going to want to look at is time with your partner, with your family. Maybe you've got plans for your home. One of the things about being home as much as we've been since last March is for lots of us, we get to go, you know, I have always hated our front door. Or man, I'd always wanted to change this kitchen. Or gosh, I'd like to change the bathroom. Or maybe it's new flooring, or maybe it's air conditioning, or maybe it's something in the backyard, like a play yard or a swimming pool, or fixing up the patio. So it might be some home improvements. Maybe you're actually looking to purchase a new home, move to a different area where there's better schools or closer to family. You're going to want to probably look at your job, your career, your work. Is it fulfilling? Is there something you'd rather be doing? Would you like to make more money? Are you up for a promotion? Or do you want to change careers? That's certainly something that's been on my vision board year after year. A lot of my time and a lot of my energy is put into what I want to create in my business. The other thing you should look at is money. Trust me, money is not a 4-letter word. Money is a 5-letter word. And the world, we all deserve to have abundance and wealth in our lives, however you define that. And I would highly recommend that you put numbers on your board, that if you have a vision of how much you'd like to make or what you'd like to create in the world, or maybe you want to take a vacation and in order to do that, you need this amount of money, I highly recommend you put it on your board. I have $1 million bill. Now it's phony, it's not real, but it does have a picture of the Queen on it that sits on my computer monitor. And every single day, I get to look at that every day and remind me that that's one of my goals is to create $1 million in sales this year. So things that you want to try, maybe it's hobbies, maybe you want to volunteer, maybe you want to take up a new sport, or maybe you already belong to a curling group, a baseball team, maybe you volunteer part-time in the community. All of these things you can create and add to your vision board. Also, there may be some things that you already have planned. Maybe there are some carryover projects. We have a few in my family that you need to add to your vision board to remind yourself that these are still coming up and they're still pending. Just remember, there's no limits, there's no judgments, and there's no obstacles. Visions are visions. They don't have fences, they don't have time frames. The sky's the limit. When you look at your vision board, whether it's on your phone or your tablet or in your bathroom, I want you to be inspired. I want it to make you happy. I want it to make you giggle. I want it to make your heart smile. So make sure it contains the things that are important to you. Now, as I said, you can do a vision board for this year. You can do a vision board that entails lots of different parts of your life. You can do a vision board that just contains a single part of your life. However it works for you, that's what makes a vision board powerful. So if you want to create a 3D vision board, there's a lot of ways you can do it. You can do it big on a Bristol board. You can do it small on a piece of paper. I have several people that do it in binders. So they add pictures to binders. They can take them away. They can customize them. I look at mine every year. I take some pictures off. I add some pictures. You can put them in your day timer, or as I said, you can also do them digitally. If you're going to do them, you're going to need scissors and tape, and you're going to need 3D things. You're going to need magazines or publications. I can tell you that one of the best magazines to use for vision boards, and I know you're going to laugh at me a little bit, is Good Housekeeping. You can get it at the newsstand, at any checkout counter in any grocery store in Canada. But what's really wonderful about Good Housekeeping is it's got lots of great pictures and it has lots of fabulous words. And it's really focused on moms and women and home life. And I have 2 magazines that are in my vision board sack. I actually have a bag that has all my vision board stuff in it. And I've been using these 2 magazines for probably 5 years. And every year I look through them, and every year I find more pictures that I can use on my vision board. Also, if any of you have older children, or if you have nieces, nephews, okay, I would really encourage you to get them involved. They could create, I know my friend Lisa, who's here on the call, her 2 daughters are going to, I think this year, create some vision boards, and they may have done so in the past as well. Again, they don't have to be super elaborate. They can be very simple, but what's really fun about them is it allows your kids to dream their dreams. Encourage them to create a vision board that they get excited about, not what they think you get excited about, but something that they get excited about. My sister used to put pictures on the back of her bedroom door. That's where she kept her visions. My very best friend, Isabel, keeps her vision board in her walk-in closet. So on the back of her door is this year's goals, and then all through her closet are photographs of where she wants to travel to and where she wants to visit and places she wants to go. And she kind of has them positioned above the clothes she thought she might wear when she goes there. It's lots of fun. We always have lots of fun when I go and visit her in Tucson, Arizona, going into her closet to see what her vision board looks like this year. But I'd highly recommend that you encourage your children, even if they have 2 or 3 pictures that, again, they can post in their room or in their space, to start to dream some of their dreams. They are very, very powerful goal setting and inspiring projects. I can't encourage you enough to try this out and see some of the amazing things that can happen. Now, for any of you that need some help this week, sometimes when we're setting goals or looking at visions, sometimes it helps to, bounce it off other people. When I set my word for the year, Isabel and I usually get on a telephone call and we talk about what our word is for this year and what we want to do and how we want to, and why we've chosen that word. We kind of challenge each other to talk about, well, why is that the word and what's that going to look like and how's it going to show up in your life? So if any of you need to talk about stuff like work goals, money goals, I don't have any children, so I may not be the best sounding board for that. Maybe you want to get a puppy. I've had several of those. We can talk about that if you'd like. I also have a cat. So if you'd like to talk about that. But sometimes it just helps to kind of bounce ideas off somebody else. You have my email address. You know how to get me. And you also you see the group email every morning. So would be more than happy to help you along this journey. My hope or my plan is next Tuesday night, when we gather together again on our call, that you'll actually bring along your vision board, however state it's in. I'm not expecting it to be finished or completed. This is for fun. Just go at your own pace. There's no pressure. I know there's a lot going on in our lives right now. This is meant to be an enjoyable, relaxing project for you, but I'm hoping that you'll come and you'll share with sort of your work in progress and how it's coming along. Now, what I'd like to do is I will be sending you a summary tonight via email of tonight's session, and this recording will be available on the website. But before we wrap up for the evening, does anybody have any questions, comments? Nobody? Everybody's good? So have a wonderful week. Please enjoy the journey. Relax, be kind to yourself. There's no final exam when this is all over. Nobody's going to grade your work. This is for you. This is about you. This is for you. This is your dreams, your goals, your visions for your life. So enjoy it, personalize it. And I just wanted to share a little something. This was shared with me a long time ago by a very dear lady. She was a motivational speaker and a woman I worked with, and I did a lot of training with her. And it's about the bumblebee. And to me, this little story kind of reflects to me what vision boards can do. According to recognized aeronautical tests, the bumblebee cannot fly because the shape and the weight of his body in relation to the total size and weight of his wings is not even close. Very fortunately, the bumblebee doesn't know this, so he goes and flies anyway. Have a wonderful week, flitting from flower to flower. Enjoy your time. Look for great pictures and inspirations, and I look forward to speaking with you every morning this week. If you need me, I'm here, and we'll see you all next Tuesday night. God bless. Stay safe. Be well.